Fuzz, brought to you by the City of Fort Smith and the Fort Smith Police Department. Well, spring is upon us, which means it's time for all kinds of outdoor activities, including riding our bikes or playing baseball or other sports. I know my kids, they love to play soccer, so we'll be doing that this spring. But something I like to do while we're outside is if I see some trash on the ground or if I see any type of litter, we try to pick it up and throw it away, either put it in a recycling bin or put it in the trash. And that's a simple way to help our environment, to help keep Fort Smith beautiful and clean. Now today, Pawfficer Fuzz is going to be talking about a holiday called Earth Day, and it's all about protecting the environment and ways that we can do that together. Now, every day is a good day to do this, but Pawfficer Fuzz recognizes one special day in April called Earth Day, and he takes some time with his new friend, Doss from Solid Waste Services. So with that, let's go straight to our story. The sun crowned the sky in a yellow-orange midday glow. Today was Earth Day, and the April showers had given the folks of Fort Smith a break. Celebrations were underway, mixing with the freshness of spring. Laughter and voices melded in harmony as the community came together in a citywide effort to beautify Fort Smith. It was during this time that Pawfficer Fuzz patrolled the city in his eco-friendly Fuzzmobile, his eyes as blue as the skies above. "These are my favorite kinds of days," Fuzz said to himself as he turned right onto Old Greenwood and drove towards Creekmore Park. Creekmore was just one of the many jewels that Fort Smith proudly wore in her green crown, a place of mini golf and joggers and trains and fun. But as the Fuzzmobile neared closer, a distressing sight grabbed the Pawfficer's attention. "Whiskers and tails!" he shouted. There, blocking the entrance of South M Street, was a huge mountain of trash. "I just know that this is the work of that Sly Slinkerton," Fuzz said. Over the last few weeks, there had been a series of trash tornadoes touching down all across the city. At each scene, a calling card was left behind. "Brought to you courtesy of Sly Slinkerton, Trash Bandit." On the card was a picture of a sneaky-looking raccoon wearing a bandit mask to conceal his identity. Pawfficer Fuzz left the Fuzzmobile and approached the mountain of trash and could see the same calling card there in front of the pile. "I'm going to get you for this, Sly, but first, this mess needs to be picked up." Fuzz looked back at the Fuzzmobile and realized he didn't have enough room or the tools to move all the junk that lay before him. He was starting to get discouraged, but then he remembered an old friend. Back at the Department of Solid Waste Services, the phone rang and commanded the attention of a spry, friendly-looking dog with golden hair and a big smile. The dog answered, "Operator Doss, Department of Solid Waste Services, how can I help you today?" Doss's ears perked up with delight when the familiar voice spoke from the other end. "Doss, it's Fuzz. I have a big emergency." Doss arrived swiftly in her big blue WCV, that's a waste collection vehicle, while her Department of Solid Waste Services vest flapped like a superhero's cape in the breeze. She too knew that this was the work of Sly Slinkerton, and she knew how frustrated Pawfficer Fuzz was at having yet to catch the rascal. "Don't worry about a thing, Fuzz. I'll get this picked up in a jiffy. That Sly Slinkerton isn't going to ruin Earth Day for Fort Smith." United in purpose, Fuzz and Doss set to work, but they knew that cleaning was only part of the solution. Putting a stop to this mess once and for all would mean stopping Sly Slinkerton before he struck again. And that chance was about to come sooner than they both expected. As Doss drove away with her blue truck full of trash, she noticed a rustling in some nearby bushes. She quickly made a call and waited for that familiar voice to answer. "Fuzz, I think I spotted him. He's over here by Hunt's Park about to make another mess." Fuzz leapt back into the Fuzzmobile and drove the short distance to where Doss was parked and waiting for him. Together, the pair snuck up on him as he approached a cluster of full trash cans. Doss ducked away from Fuzz and circled back to the only escape route. "Stop right there, Sly Slinkerton," Fuzz exclaimed. "Your days of trash treachery are over." Sly, realizing he was cornered, tried to slink away, but Doss was there waiting for him. With a gentle but firm grip, Doss caught the raccoon, her tail wagging not in triumph, but in the hope of understanding.
Pawfficer Fuzz, Doss, I just want to make a name for myself,
Sly confessed, his head hanging low.
But I see now the harm that I've caused.
Fuzz was annoyed, but a part of him felt sorry for the little guy too.
Sly, making a name for yourself shouldn't be at the expense of our planet. Help us clean and protect it, and you'll be remembered not as a bandit, but as a hero. A hero?
That's right, said Doss. In fact, I'd say people remember the good things more than the bad. Sly nodded, seeming to understand.
So, I guess this is it. You have to arrest me, right?
Maybe not, said Fuzz as an idea popped into his brain.
Come help us celebrate Earth Day. See what good you can bring to the city, and we'll talk at the end of the day.
And so off they all went, picking up trash where they could find it and joining other efforts throughout the city. Along the way, Pawfficer Fuzz and Doss introduced Sly to all the people who were making Fort Smith cleaner and more beautiful for everyone, and there were a lot. As Earth Day drew to a close, Fuzz and Doss said goodbye to their new friend.
Sly, welcome to the team.
Fuzz placed a friendly paw on the raccoon's shoulders.
I second that, said Doss. Remember, Sly, even when you pick up a small piece of litter, you're making a big difference because you're joining a city of folks who are committed to keeping Fort Smith beautiful.
Sly smiled. He'd finally found his calling.
Thank you, guys. I'm ready to be a hero for our planet.
Wow, what an incredible story we got to hear today. Well, I love what Doss the dog said at the end of this story. She said that even picking up a small piece of litter makes a big difference in our city. So what I encourage you to do is if you see a can or a piece of trash on the side of the road or as you're walking along a sidewalk, that you would throw that away and be a part of so many other people who are doing the same exact thing by helping keep Fort Smith beautiful. Now, I know there are also opportunities throughout the year to join big cleanup events, so be sure to tell your parents to follow us on social media so that they can be a part and you can be a part of those as well. Well, I'm really looking forward to all the activities that come along with spring, and I hope you are too. Until our next episode of The Adventures of Pawfficer Fuzz, remember to always do your best and look for ways to lend a helping hand.